guys, welcome back to Rock Fabulous 40s, and today I'm going to do kind of a battle of the brows, I guess. Maybe not really a battle, because the products that I want to show you guys are products that I use all the time that I really like. And I mean, there's some of them I like better than others, and I'll tell you which ones those are, but for the most part I really like all these products. I am wearing two different brow products today. I've got one on this eye and a different one on this eye. I don't know if you guys can tell the difference. I really, from this distance, can't really tell a difference. I like them both, but both have their pros and their cons. Alright, so we're going to start with the pencils, and let's start with the IT Cosmetics Brow Power Universal Pencil. This is the Universal Brow Pencil, and you can get this at Ulta. It's $24. This is the only shade it comes in, so if you are really fair-skinned and you have red brows, or you have really blonde brows, this might not work so well for you. It is nice in the fact that it comes with a little spoolie. Most of your brow pencils nowadays do come with little spoolies, which is nice. And the tip on this is a little different. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's kind of a fatter tip than most of your brow pencils. You guys tell? It's a bit fatter. And because it's a bit fatter, it makes it really hard to get precise shaped brows. You can fill in really well with these, but it's hard to get a precise shape. Also, with this particular pencil, it's really hard to get color to come off of it. I mean, once you do, the color is really pretty, but it is really hard to get color to come off of it. You really have to push really hard. Let me swatch this guy. I've got a couple of swatches on my hands already here, but let me swatch this guy here. That's it right there. And it is, like I said, it's hard. You have to push really hard to get the color to come off. So you really have to push hard in your brows as well to get the color to come off. It does do a really nice job, though, once you get, you know, your brows filled in. I mean, it looks really nice. I mean, I'm really liking it. Let me show you guys how I use this one. I start out by just filling in the brows, doing spot shaping. I don't really shape a whole lot with my brows. So fill them in, I spot shape, I continue to complete my fill in here, and then I'll go over top of that with the Benefit Gimme Brow. Once I've gone over the top of the Benefit Gimme Brow, then I'll go over with the NYX Control Freak, which is just a clear brow gel. That's my favorite way to apply this particular product. Actually, that's my favorite way to apply most of my products I'm going to show you guys. So that is the IT Cosmetics Brow Power Universal Brow Pencil. The next one I want to talk about is my Origins Fill in the Blanks. It's like that. And the Origins comes in two shades. It comes in blonde, it comes in brunette, and this is on the Origins website $17. Actually, it's $17.50. And I actually really like this one just a tad bit better than the IT Cosmetics one. I'm wearing this one on this eye right here. And like I said, I don't know if you guys can actually tell a difference or not, but I really kind of like this one just a tad bit better. Again, this one comes with a little spoolie as well, which is really nice. And this one has a much smaller tip, so you can actually get a really good, precise shape if you want to. It also, when you do strokes with it, it also comes really close to mimicking actual hair. It's really nice. And also when you, let me swatch it for you here. When you swatch it, you don't really have to push very hard at all. I mean, it's the bottom one down here. The color is just a little bit darker than the IT. You don't have to push really hard at all. It goes on really nicely, really smooth. It stays put all day. I do use a gel over it, but it does stay put. And I mean, this one is just, to me, this is just amazing. This is the best brow pencil I think I've ever used. The only downfall to this particular pencil is when you bring your tip out to use your pencil, don't bring the tip out too far, because when you bring it out, the pencil doesn't turn the other way. You can't get it back in there, so you don't want to bring it out too far. That's really the only downfall to this pencil. I wish they would have made it to where I could bring the tip up and down, not just up. If you bring it up too far and you try to use it, you're going to break the pencil. Let me show you guys how I use this product. I'll use this product by just doing some, again, minor spot shaping. I do a little bit more shaping with this particular product than I do the It because the tip is so much skinnier. It makes it a lot easier to actually shape. So I do a bit more shaping. I do my fill in, so I go through and I fill in my brow also with this pencil. Once that's complete, I go over it with the Benefit Gimme Brow, and then I go over that with the NYX Control Freak. And it sets and stays all day long. Absolutely doesn't smudge, doesn't move, doesn't wear off. It's just there. So the Origins one I really, really like. Also, I don't know if I mentioned this, the It Cosmetics one, the color is just a bit ashy. It looks good on all skin tones, really. Well, maybe if you're not like a redhead with red brows, but I mean, it is a bit ashy, but it does come off really, really nice when you apply it. The next thing I'm going to talk about is the powders. And I do have two powders I'm going to talk about. One is drugstore and one is not. And the first one I'm going to talk about is the Wet n Wild Ultimate Brow Kit. And I have done a video on this already. I'll link it down below. And this was, how much was this? This was $3.99. I found this at Target. And when you open it up, it comes with a little brush. And it comes with a little pair of tweezers, which is nice. The tweezers, I mean, they're not great, but I mean, they're okay. They're just tiny little tweezers. This comes with a dark powder, a lighter powder, and a wax. And I don't have video of me applying this, but the way that I do apply this is I'll do the wax first to just kind of hold my brow in place. Then I'll go over it with the darker powder using the brush. And once I have my brows filled in with the powder, I'll go back over it again with the wax to hold it in place. Let me swatch these for you guys because one of the things I want to show you, and by the way, this is really the only Wet n Wild brow kit that I've actually ever found. I'm not saying that there's not any more out there, I just haven't seen any. And when I go online and I look at Wet n Wild's website, this is the only one. And this is 963 Ash Brown. This is the only one I've seen. So I'm going to do a swatch of both the darker brown and the lighter brown so you guys can see both. And I still have the swatches from the pencils on here too. But these top ones here are your two brow powders from Wet n Wild. The bottom one is the darker shade and the top one is a lighter shade. It does have, I'm going to say the darker one is kind of a cool kind of color and the lighter one is more of a warm kind of color. And I can actually get away with wearing both of these. I have actually applied the light brown one on a friend of mine who has absolutely no brows and blondish, strawberry blondish red hair, and it actually looked really, really good on her. So for $3.99, this is just an awesome, really, really awesome brow product. Oh, and I don't know if I mentioned, this particular kit also has a little mirror that slides out of the bottom here. So that's kind of cool. The next brow product I'm going to talk about is the Urban Decay, and it's called the Brow Box, and it looks like this. Really cute packaging. I really love the packaging on this one. The Urban Decay Brow Box comes in two shades. It comes in the box called Honey Pot, which is for blondes, and then it comes in the box for brunettes, which is called Brown Sugar, which is the one that I have, and it's $29. Now this one, if I can get it open, it's kind of hard to get open. So this one comes with two brushes here and a small little pair of tweezers. Very similar to the Wet n Wild, but the Wet n Wild only came with one brush. This comes with two. It also has a decent mirror up here. And then the powders look like this. And you have your wax, and then you have your two powders, and you have the dark brown and the light brown. And really, let me get a brush out so I can swatch these for you guys. I'll use one of the brushes to apply the wax, and then I'll use the other brush to apply the powder, and then I'll go back to the first brush to apply the wax over top of that to hold everything and keep it all in place. So let me swatch the dark one first. And now let me do the lighter one. Oh, and by the way, there is a mirror on the powder side too, which is kind of nice. Alright, so the darker one is this guy right here, and then the lighter one is down below. And both of these shades are very, very warm. And actually this one here, this darker one, is a little red for me, if that makes sense. It's way too warm for me. And the light one doesn't even show up on me at all. And I do like this powder. I mean, I'll use it in a pinch, but it's definitely not my favorite. I have to say I actually like the Wet n Wild, the Ultimate Brow Kit for $3.99, a little bit better than I like the Urban Decay Brow Box for $29. So, and I have to say that that's probably actually one of the first times that I've ever done a comparison to a drugstore brand versus a high-end brand and actually like the drugstore brand better. So those are my comparisons between my pencils and my powders. I also have a comparison between a couple of gels, and these are both drugstore. And I used to use the Salon Perfect Brow Sculpting Gel, which was just a clear gel. And you can just use it to hold your brows in place. But what I've noticed, and this thing I think is only $2.99 or $2.89 or something like that. Do I have it written down? $2.98. Okay, so the Salon Perfect one you can get at Walmart. I think that's the only place you can find it is Walmart. It's $2.98. But what I don't like about this, even though it does hold the brows, look at the tube, okay? That is supposed to be clear. So what happens is I put my powder or my pencil on my brow, and then I go over it with this, and that color, this wand is so wet that the color gets back on the wand, and then you end up putting it back in the tube. And then what happens is then this goes on your brows cloudy, and it actually does show up cloudy. So this one is not my favorite. I mean, it's only $2.98, so it's not a big loss. It's just not my favorite one. Now the NYX Control Freak, on the other hand, which is $5.99, and you can get this one at Ulta, is also a clear gel that I use to hold my brows. And this one is just amazing. The formula is not too wet. It holds my brows perfectly, and it never comes off cloudy. I mean, I can't tell because the tube is white. I can't tell if color is getting back down into the gel, but I do know that when I apply this gel that it doesn't come off cloudy on my brows. So this is the perfect gel, and I will repurchase this one over and over. The only downfall I have to this, and I don't know if any of you guys, if you've ever bought this, let me know if you have experienced this, but see the cracks in the lid? I mean, that happened probably within the first week of use. That lid cracked, and I was probably maybe tightening it too tight, I don't know. But it did crack. It doesn't seem to dry out the product. I've had the product for several months and it hasn't dried it out because of the cracks, so I'm not too terribly worried about it, but I am curious if any of you other guys have experienced the Control Freak crack. Let me know. Leave a comment down below if you have. Alright guys, so that is pretty much all I have in the what I call the Battle of the Brows, and let me know if any of this information was useful. I hope it was. I hope it was a bit helpful. Go ahead and leave comments down below. Also hit subscribe, and you too can rock your fabulous 40s. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.